Hi guys, it's Chris speaking. Welcome back. It's been a minute since I made a video. I think it's been about a month or so, but I am back and hopefully with a fairly regular upload schedule if you have been keeping along. Today I'm going to do a bit of an update. So I am now 4 months on testosterone. I didn't do an update at 3 months. I didn't think there was enough to talk about between the 2 and the 3 month mark, but now we're at 4 months. I'll sort of do the whole head to toe thing and then talk about some of the mental changes that have happened after that. So starting from my head, my hairline is, I wouldn't say receding, but it's starting to square out a bit. So up here used to be a little bit more curved and now it's a little bit more square. I feel like it's thinning out, but that could also just be paranoia. I went to the hairdressers yesterday and they started thinning it and I was like, oh, please don't take it away from me. But again, that could just be my own paranoia. The need to pluck my monobrow and these bits of my eyebrows because they want to grow up towards the hairline is increasing. So I'm getting hairier in that region of my face. My jaw has gotten wider. So I don't know that it started sort of taking shape yet, but it's sort of expanded a little bit. In terms of facial hair, not a lot has happened since month 2, except that there's more. I can grow a chin tuft, which I shaved recently, which I'm very sad about. It'll probably take me 4 weeks to get that back, but hopefully it'll start growing in faster. I'm getting more and more hairs happen along this bit of my my neck, though, that need to be shaved more regularly. My voice has deepened, probably more significantly in the last sort of 3 weeks than leading up to that. But I had like a bit of, not soreness, but discomfort around here, and I've got a little lump forming up there, so I don't know whether that's part of the Adam's apple or what's going to happen there. I have become obsessed with the idea of having an Adam's apple to the point where I like go and swallow in front of a mirror just to see if I can see anything moving. It's sad, I'm 28, but it still happens. I don't really know the science behind it. I think it just sort of drops when your vocal cords expand. The other thing that's happened on my face is acne. So I have started to get a little bit more, particularly on my neck. So you can't really see it, but I've got a couple of bigger ones there on both sides of my neck and in this region on the chin. So this area is mainly to do with hormones when you get acne there and the imbalance. So they are quite, I wouldn't say painful, but they're different. It's a different type of acne that you get when you're on testosterone. I did not know that. The doctor told me about it, and I've had to get some special face cream to put on as like a mask overnight to help alleviate some of that. But they tend to be more cystic, so they're under the skin and they get quite big and they just sort of go away on their own, or they stay there forever. These ones on my neck have been there for like 3 weeks and they're not going away anytime soon. In terms of my body, my shoulders have continued to sort of expand and this part of my body is getting broader. I'm finding it easier to put muscle on. Obviously I'm not sort of bulky, but in terms of when I'm working out, it's working, or it looks like it's working more. Some of the tissue here has hardened a bit, so my chest does resemble more pec than anything, which is awesome. The other thing is sort of hair, sporadic hair growth here and there. My stomach is the main place where I've been getting hair, and I've got a snail trail that looks like a snail trail now, which is also kind of cool. My arms have gotten hairy, but it's like, I think it's amusing because all the new hair on my arm, so again you can't really see it, but so all of this is like old hair and it's all quite light still, and then I've got all this new hair growing in on this side, and all of the new hair is growing in much darker than the old hair. So I've got a bit of like a two-face situation going on with my arm where I've got like dark hair and then light hair, and I assume that will start darkening up at some point, or I will just be hairy in a two-tone forever. So that's happening on both sides, and I've definitely got more sort of creeping up this way, and it comes up to my shoulder, which started pretty early on, but it's just getting a little bit darker now. also have hair on my fingers. I had a weird moment with my partner where I asked her if she knew that men had hairy fingers or not, because I noticed that some was growing in there. And we both sort of looked to our closest male and we were like, yep, we have hairy fingers. So that's going to happen, and it's a bit weird, and also it itches. Like, the hair growing in on my fingers itches a lot. In terms of my nether regions, and if you are my family, stop watching. It's in the first few weeks or so, it started to sort of tingle. It was just uncomfortable. It didn't hurt at all, but there was tingling, and it was weird to have that sensation happening. And that happened sort of for the first 2 months, and then it went away for a little bit, and probably in the last week or so it started up again, but this time there's more of that. I wouldn't necessarily call it pain, but it's not comfortable that when it happens. So it's more like a throbbing that's happening constantly, and it's very distracting and annoying, especially when in public or at work. So that started up again. I don't know what that means, whether it will continue to grow, which is what I presume is happening down there. I don't know. I try not to look down there. The libido increase has definitely sort of happened, but the dysphoria surrounding that part of my body has also increased. So even though I'm thinking like a teenage boy, I'm trying to do everything in my power, in my brain, to not acknowledge that that part of me exists. And that can be a little bit weird, and a mental battle that happens on the daily or several times a day. I don't know how guys do this. We'll figure it out. Probably the most exciting thing that's happened is thigh hair, and that was something I thought I would be terrified of. I remember starting T and getting really down when I was going to the bathroom because I had no thigh hair, and I was like, well, obviously they're just going to be bare and feminine forever, and getting really upset about that. But I have started to have thigh hair creep up, which is exciting. It's quite short and like coarse, but it's there, and I'm not complaining. And then the other thing is that my leg hair is gotten coarser, but I had been growing that out for a long time before starting hormones, just as a passing mechanism. But it's just becoming coarser. Watch as I run my hand through my leg hair. I think the only other thing really physically is I feel like I'm still holding a lot of that water weight. I feel bloated quite a lot still. I know everybody is different and when that sort of stops happening, but for me, I still feel rather bloated all the time, which is a little bit frustrating, but it's neither here nor there. Apparently that will drop off at some point, or I'll just stop feeling bloated. I'm still waiting. Just a quick trigger warning, I am going to talk about my menstrual cycle in the next sort of minute or so, so if you are uncomfortable with that, just skip to the end. If you want to know about it, then keep watching. So I was warned that on Testagel I would probably still have it for 4 to 6 months afterwards. I did start on a normal dose, so 4 pumps of the Testagel, and I had a regular menstrual cycle for the first 2 months, and I haven't had it since that point. So I still get the cramping and the bloating that happens at that time of the month, but in terms of the actual cycle, it hasn't happened for a couple of months, which has been great because I used to break down without fail every friggin' month that it was happening. I'm aware that it could come back. Again, everybody is different. It can come back at any time, normally when your hormone levels have, I guess, sort of settled, and if you need to up your T, it's a pretty good indicator that is happening. That's it from me. I'm not going to update at 5 months. I might give an update at 6 months and do a bit of a voice comparison if you're interested to see how my voice has changed over the last 6 months. I probably have only noticed a massive, or a fair difference in the last sort of 2 months or so. Thank you if you watched and you made it to the end. I will catch you next time, and that's it. Okay, bye. Yay, we're done.